Yes, thank you so much. Well, after the pain of course, our exit from the World Cup, we turn to what was a rather one-sided affair in the final yesterday. So much expected of a resurgent New Zealand, but ultimately the dominance of Australia continued. 5 World Cup trophies behind them. And of course, Michael Clarke rising to the occasion. Joining us now on the line for a bit of a recap as a former Proteas himself and of course the coach of the Cape Cobras, Paul Adams. Very good morning, Paul. Paul, good morning. Paul.
Yeah, good morning.
How's it? But I know we're all in shock. We're all in shock after how, of course, one-sided the final was yesterday. One has to say, though, an absolutely dominant performance from Australia. They certainly peaked at the perfect time.
Yeah, it was a great game, I think, for Australia in that sense. I think they showed their dominance in the World Cup. I think World Cups are always World Cup times are once off, and you need a good start. And I think New Zealand getting McCullum out in that first over there, it really was a big blow for them. He's been the catalyst to their positiveness and the way they played, and Australia just was a one-sided affair.
We've seen such incredible batting throughout the season. I think that's taken away a lot from the focus on the bowlers. And what was proved yesterday is that nothing slows down a rate of scoring quite like a wicket. And I know Mitchell Starc has been superb throughout this entire World Cup. But ultimately, it seems that the teams with the most consistent bowling attack, they really have dominated, and they did lead from the front in terms of that yesterday.
I think that's always key when it comes to the 50-over format when you got 2 brand new balls, you got fielding restrictions, so you got to try and really make impact in inroads early on in the game, and Australia has really been doing that, and as well New Zealand throughout that tournament as well. You saw test match field in place throughout the tournament. Otherwise, you're chasing scores of 300 plus. So it's that kind of tournament that it always changes how you look at the game. I know ICC is looking again now at should there be a little bit more fielding, put guys out there, change of rules, because it's just becoming one-sided maybe with the bat. But it's one of those things where cricketers have got to think on their feet and really just evolve how the game is moving.
We can also throw in maybe a review of the Duckworth-Lewis system as well, but that's a conversation for another day. If we look at Michael Clarke, where he has come from, an Australian side 2 years ago looked very different. Of course, we've had the shock of Phil Hughes being taken out of that, the back injuries that plagued Michael Clarke for such a long time. Under a new coach, Darren Lehmann, Michael Clarke injury-free. He really did end his one-day international cricketing career on the perfect note yesterday.
Yeah, perfect way to end his career. I think Michael Clarke's always been a strong character within that team. From a young player being in there, built himself up as a leader within that Australian side. The perfect way to end it in ODI cricket. And I think being injury plagued, and I think it's just time to manage him in that sense for Test cricket. So Michael Clarke, you salute him in the way he's played his cricket and the way he's gone out.
Now, talking about handing accolades, we would have loved to have seen what was probably the most well-balanced South African side in many years progress further than they did. What do you make of South Africa's campaign? Can we let go of the Chokers title and just say we were beaten on the day?
Look, I think over the years, I think we've taken one step closer, is winning a knockout game. I think we moved to untrenched water, so it's important that we keep building from there and look at these various formats and the way we go forward. Next World Cup's 4 years' time in England. I think it's a massive chance again for South Africa, especially for conditions and the way we also play in England. So there's a lot of positives going forward, and I think South Africa is in a good space again, moving in the next 4 years. So for us, it's just to keep building, making sure that we keep putting the things in place. I mean, I think the process has got to start now for the next 4 years.
Of course, that pressure falls on our local franchises, and you play now a very big part of that down in the Cape. Quickly, before we let you go, how's life in the Cape Cobras camp?
Well, we just completed yesterday our season with a good win against the Dolphins. So the boys are really upbeat and looking forward to a nice race. It's been a real long, hard season. Won the T20 Cup and ended up top of the log, lost in the final, the momentum. But past couple of months break, and then we're on the horse again, and hopefully we can challenge for a couple of more trophies.
No doubt you will. So thank you so much for what you've given to the Cape Cobras outfit, but also thank you for joining us this morning. An incredible advertisement for the 50-over game. Thank you for touching base with us, giving us your take.
Thank you very much, and take care.
Cheers, man. That was Paul Adams, former Protea spin bowler, giving us his take on South Africa's exit from the World Cup, of course, but Australia's dominance, taking that final yesterday against New Zealand by a massive 7 wickets. But I know Kat would have been as equally hurt as I that South Africa weren't playing in that final yesterday.